Sure. Hello, everybody. My name is Amanda Ace, and we'd like to welcome you here today at the LifeWave presentation. It is Wednesday, 7 o'clock in South Africa. And as you can see, a lot of people are very cold. And with me today is going to be presenting Merle. She's going to tell us more about the company and the business opportunity. And I'll be telling you more about the products and why we are so excited about this. So I'm going to quickly tell you my story. I heard about LifeWave, but I was that skeptical person. Even though my sister got great results, I thought, no, this is nonsense. But then in March last year, I got COVID and I got very, very sick. And after 4 weeks and spending a lot of time, a lot of money on medication, which nothing helped, I was still in bed. I could not get in front of my computer. I could not work. I could not earn an income. And I said to my husband, let's just go walking and see how, if I can just get out of the house. And it was 150 meters further, and my heart wanted to jump out of my chest. And that was a scary place to be. I was so scared that I was doing damage to my heart. But you have to work. You've got to earn an income. You can't even walk 150 meters. And I'm so grateful for somebody who gave me some patches. I put the patch the next morning, put the patch in the back of my neck. And 2 hours later, I had no more symptoms whatsoever. I didn't believe it. I thought I just had a good sleep or something. But 2 days later, I thought, let me check it. Went walking on the farm in the mountains with my dog, walked 1.5 kilos, no problem whatsoever. And 4 days later, when I looked at my watch, I'd already walked 9,000 steps. So that was absolutely amazing. I'm grateful. I'm what we call a one patch wonder. But by then I understood that this is not like a panado. This is actually looking after your body, giving your body everything it needs to heal itself. So I kept on patching every day. And since then, I've had tremendous results. I sleep like a baby. I'm still surprised if it's 9:30 at night and I'm asleep already. That's never happened. And my skin has improved amazingly. I have soft heels for the first time in my life, Nina, soft heels. And my kidney functions, the blood test shows that my kidney functions have improved. So I'm so grateful for this. And I've patched so many people since then. And it's just amazing seeing what happens. I've cried so much because it's just a privilege when you patch somebody and they get these results and their lives change. It's just a privilege being able to have that in your life. So that is my story, Mul. Do you want to tell your story now or later on when you do your part?
I will introduce myself later. I'm going to start sharing
Okay.
with you.
Okay, fantastic. So what we're going to do is I'm going to share about the products, and then we're going to have a great time where people are going to share their stories, their testimonies as well. And then Mo will tell us more about the company and why we believe so much in the company.
Oops, sorry, I've
Right.
messed that one up. I'm having some technical issues today, and now I don't know what I've done.
You
I've
want me to do
duplicated
it?
the presentation, and now I've got to get out of
Okay.
it.
I'll do it, Mo, don't worry.
Okay, but I don't know how to get out of it.
Okay, just give me a second. I'll do that. Okay.
No,
So
okay, hold on.
the
I can,
first,
no, don't worry, I'm sorted. I can do it. Um,
okay,
okay, hold on. Let me just,
okay. Let me stop the sharing on my side.
oh, that's why the issue is. Let me just share, and I will. Uh,
Fortunately, we are all
No,
friends
I
and
tell you
we
what,
on.
you do it because my other screen is doing funny things. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, you do it.
But you know what? We don't work for LifeWave. We aren't paid by LifeWave. We are just normal people. We are not professionals. And we just take it in our stride and we just want to share what's happened to us. So just bear with us. If there's technical glitches, we will get through this. Okay, so what we always ask is, have you been patched before? And some people have been patched. Some people have been using the patches for a long time. Some people have got no idea what this is about. So this is really for you. If you haven't been patched, if you don't know what we're talking about, this is for you. So why do we want to be patched? Because patching will elevate, activate, and regenerate your body. This is so exciting. Just waiting for the next screen. I'm trying to pretend I'm not nervous.
Is yours not changing?
No, it's not changing at all.
Oh, we're having interesting times this evening. It's okay.
Okay, well, I think, can you go out? Then I'll try and share it from my side.
You sharing, it's not me.
Oh, Emma.
You.
Okay.
Yeah, it's you.
Let's see. Okay. Okay. Now we know who's in charge here. All right. Okay. So we cannot start telling you about LifeWave if we don't speak about David Schmidt. He is our CEO and the inventor of LifeWave and of these amazing patches. On this slide, it says he's got over 130 patents. He's got over 200 patents already. This is amazing. So he's a scientist and inventor, and he specializes in age reversing. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. So in 2008, David started focusing his research on stem cells, and the recent patent took 10 years and 4.5 million to bring to the market. So this is not something you just thought of putting on the market and it happened. It took a lot of work. And this is one of the patents. This is our patent for the X39. And you can just read there, it says it's embodiment as a result of it elevating the copper peptides by including the activation of your stem cells, improvement in energy, elevation of antioxidants, reduction in inflammation, management of pain, improvement of stamina, elevation of collagen production, improved wound healing. There's a lot of things. What's amazing is that you cannot just say, this is what my product's going to do, and then just patent it. You've got to prove that this is actually happening. And on the website, we'll talk about it later on, this is at info.com. You can see all the information on the patent and what is going on there. So what's interesting to know is that a patent, you can take out a patent for 20 years or register a patent for 20 years. And we still have 15 years left of this patent where nobody else can do this. It's protected. So if you hear of anybody else selling it on eBay or on Amazon or whatever, it's not true. This is the real way, is getting it through LifeWave, not any other way. Okay. So why do we talk about X39 stem cell activation patch? This is our flagship. This is the best patch of them all. So how it works with stem cells is the fewer stem cells you have, the faster you age and the slower you heal. Now, I didn't know anything about stem cells, but stem cells are amazing. We all have millions of stem cells and they just lie there in your body. And whenever anything goes wrong, these stem cells rush to wherever something's wrong, whether it's your liver or your eyes or your ear or doesn't matter, and it becomes a new cell. It's so amazing. And this is what makes this whole thing so fantastic, is your stem cells know where the problem is and they will go where the problem is. But the problem is, at the age of 30, only half of your stem cells are still active. And by the age of 60, you lose almost all your stem cell activities. And that is why millions of people are experiencing the symptoms of aging. All right. So this is what X39 now does. What does X39, how does it work? It's a proprietary form of phototherapy or light therapy. So I always explain it like this. It's like when you go out in the sun, often people would say you need vitamin D, go out in the sun. There's no vitamin D in the sun. But the way that the sun falls onto your body, it creates some magic and your body makes its own vitamin D, and that is light therapy. It's the same thing with these patches. So it's patented. It's got nanocrystal technology, which is just grand words to say it's very, very small crystals that's in that little patch, and it reflects light to activate. So it uses your body's own infrared light to activate. It's non-transdermal, which means that nothing goes into your body. There's no drugs, no chemicals, no stimulants in that little patch, and it's non-invasive. You don't need an injection, you don't need a transfusion to get stem cells. This little patch will use light to activate your body's own stem cells, not anybody else's stem cells. So what is the benefits of X39? Well, you'll hear in the testimonies, but these are some of the things: increased strength, reduced inflammation, increased stamina, energy and vitality, mental clarity, restored muscle and skeletal conditions, improvement of sleep, improved skin appearance. And this will help you to achieve optimal health, a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. But it's important to know that LifeWave products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. This is not medicine. This is giving your body what it needs to heal itself. Okay, so this is very interesting. First time I saw this, I was just blown away. This is a topography map And this was on one of the clinical studies they did. So this is on one of the ladies. She was 70 year old lady. And you can see in the first session, she had a lot of inflammation in her brain. Look at the red and yellow and orange in there. And she had a lack of brain coherence. But by session 2, which was 3 weeks later, when they put the X39 on the back of her neck, she had no more inflammation. Look at now it's blue and yellow and light blue, and improved brain coherence. By session 3, she was 6 weeks on the X39, complete turnaround, better brain coherence. And what's interesting is when she came in, her brain was hyperactive, but it calmed down dramatically by the second visit. And her brain remained calm after wearing the patch for 6 weeks. So it's just fantastic that we can actually see this and measure this in blood tests, topography maps. This is not a placebo effect. You can't see this if it was just placebo. So what is the long-term results of X39? What can you expect? And you can see the clinical trials that was done on this website. This is itinfo.com is where you can find it. But in the first few days, the trials and the tests show that 4,000 genes begin to reset. Within 6 weeks, your brain becomes balanced. Within 3 months, your collagen is increased. And within 6 months, your heart reverses in age. This is incredible. And this is why David Schmidt says it's anti-aging. It's not age reversing. So it's not anti-aging, it's age reversing. So it doesn't mean that your body feels like it's 50 years old and it doesn't get older. It means that your body actually gets younger. I mean, this is just amazing. So how do you wear your X39? You can see the 2 pictures there. The back of your neck, under your belly button. There are many different places, but these are the ones that all the clinical trials were done on. So you're going to wear your patch for 12 hours on and 12 hours off. So we don't want you to wear it longer than that. It's not dangerous or anything, but your body gets used to the stimulation and then it's not going to work as well anymore. So then you're supposed to throw the patch away, but many of us then will patch it on animals or there's lots of things you can still do with it. And then you put on a new patch the next day and you repeat. You keep on wearing that every day. You buy an envelope with 30 patches in it. And so you can wear more than one patch at a time, but not more than one X39. There are many other patches, supplementary patches, which will work with things like Eon. Thank you, Merle. There you can see the envelope there. And I'll show you. Here is my patch on the back of my neck. This is how the little patch looks. All right. So, and you can wear more than one patch at a time because there are other patches that works with inflammation, with pain, lots of other things. But the X39, you're not going to wear more than one X39. You're really just going to waste your money. It's not going to give you double value. All right. And then very important, drink lots of water, drink electrolytes. And David Schmidt suggests that we use the patches at least for 3 months at a time to give it the best chance to work. So if you want to really get great results, you're going to drink your water, you're going to drink your electrolytes, you're going to patch 12 hours on, 12 hours off, and give these patches time to work. And you will be amazed at what's going to happen. So X39 is so sophisticated, but it's very, very simple to explain. Anybody can use it. Anybody can just take off the backing and gum, not gum, what's the word? But anyway, the white piece in the back, the glue part, and put it in the back of your neck. It's so easy. Anybody can do it. You don't have to be clever to do it. You don't have to be clever to explain it to anybody. You just pat yourself, drink your water, and the magic is going to start happening. So the testimonies of X39 is life-changing and emotional. As I said, I've tried so much seeing these things happen, and the best thing about it, it actually works. It absolutely works. So the exciting part for me, the best part of the presentation is when we start telling other people or giving other people the opportunity to also tell their stories. So I'm going to open it up. Anybody who would like to tell us what happened to you, why are you excited about patching? Please just unmute and tell us your story. I will point you if you don't want to. But I know everybody wants to share. Everybody's just like waiting. Who's going to say first? All right. Caroline, would you like to tell us?
I'm always happy. Yeah, hi, I'm Caroline, living in the UK, where we have nice warm weather, not like you guys. And I've been patching for a year and a half with lots and lots of results actually. Started out with a specific issue that I wanted to resolve, which was a very stiff knee. But I think probably what I hadn't really admitted to myself was I was in the beginning stages of some autoimmune arthritis or something like that, because I was starting to get really sore joints and sore neck and fingers as well. So I was very hopeful that something was happening, but I was definitely not a one patch wonder like you, Amanda. It took a while for me to feel into what was happening, but I would say that a couple of weeks in, the first thing that I really, really noticed was the amazing quality of sleep that I was getting. Uh, Not waking up at all, but and feeling refreshed in the morning. Just a very different feeling to what I was used to. And when it happened over a week or two, and it didn't seem to change, I was aware that it was the patch that was doing it because I hadn't changed anything else in my life. Um, with that, I realized that I was also sleeping better because I didn't have any pain anymore. I wasn't waking up with my thumping kind of hands and those that stiff neck that couldn't turn because you'd been lying on the side or something. So that was a real exciting moment for me when I realized that some of the pain that I had just gotten used to, I simply just accepted, was just going away. Um, Almost 3 months in, or 2.5 months in, I was bending my knee again, and I was squatting. I was doing my yoga, qigong. I was sitting with a straight back. I didn't have to sit on a little box or cushion. I noticed so many other things over the next couple of months. My gums were suddenly better, and my dentist was saying, "Oh, your teeth are looking good." And I didn't have terrible gums, but I definitely had issues, and there was definitely a difference there as well. And then recently, I hear everyone talking about their soft heels. Now, I went to see a podiatrist today just to do a little kind of, it's just a summer spruce up, and she said, "Oh, your heels are very soft. I don't need to do anything with them." And I'm like, that's the first time that's ever happened. And so I realized the soft heels had hit me as well, and I hadn't really noticed. So that was really exciting. But in the process, I'm a homeopath as well. I see a lot of patients and talk to a lot of people. In the process, I've had some really wonderful experiences on my patients' behalf as well, with eczema and pain management and just general well-being, feeling younger, less pain, more energy, brain focus, hormonal health, just so many things. So yeah, it's a really exciting little patch, and it does do wonderful things for a lot of people.
Thank you very much, Caroline. With Nina was actually saying about her soft heels, so wasn't something that I would ever have thought of because it's something that I always struggled with, no matter how much you would put cream on and so on. So it wasn't something I try to, I didn't want to touch my heels if I didn't have to. So that when Nina said it, I touched my heels and like, wow, that's amazing. And the first time I said it on a call like this, I said my heels are soft, and you could see everybody going like this, touching their heels, and suddenly everybody was like, my heels too, my heels too. So it's really amazing. And then, I mean, the skin, the collagen,
Yeah.
everything, it's just really, it's fantastic. You get really, you get things that you didn't expect. Maybe you start because you've got a
Absolutely.
headache, and then other amazing things happen.
That's why I don't
So,
want to start, because you don't know what's going to happen next. You think, what's the next thing that's going to
exactly,
happen? Yeah.
exactly. Kim, I see you've got, you unmuted. Would you like to tell us what happened to you?
I shouldn't have unmuted, but anyway, I was going to say to you, I also now want to feel my heels, but I've got boots on, so I can't do that. I'm going to do it afterwards. But that is true. We really do experience things without realizing it. One thing I do want to share is, because I'm still so amazed, about 5 or 6 months ago, I was sleeping. It was a Sunday night, and all of a sudden, I felt these terrible pins and needles whenever I moved on a certain way down the whole sort of left side of my body. And I just remember thinking, left side means heart attack, stroke, or whatever. And I mean, it was really quite frightening that I called the hospital that Sunday night, and they didn't really know what to do. And I just thought, well, I've just got to sleep through the morning and hope that I wake up. And I did, and I rushed off to the doctor. And he said, no, 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 don't worry. It's not a heart attack or anything. And he said, we did some x-rays. He thought it was my neck. He gave a few exercises. And then I don't know how it happened, but the C4 and C5 vertebrae near my neck are out of alignment. I'm not sure how it happened. I think it's got to do with walking miracles. It's quite tough to walk. And I just thought, there's no ways I'm having an op or anything like that. And he wasn't keen on the op idea as well. He just said, be careful, don't pick up heavy things and that kind of thing. And I've done nothing other than I didn't pick up heavy things in the beginning, but when you live on your own, you have to pick up things. In the beginning, I didn't, but all of a sudden, all I'm doing is wearing X39 and X49, and those pins and needles and complete almost not paralysis, but feeling like that it could go that way, have completely disappeared. So I keep on, I'm shifting around to see if it comes back or not. So what I'm excited about is I'm going to give it a couple of months, and I'm going to go back and ask them to do X-rays of that area again, just to see what's happened, because truly that feeling that I had for about 3 months is completely gone, and there's nothing other that I'm doing than wearing the patches. So it's quite phenomenal.
Fantastic. Kim, won't you please tell them about your energy and what your students say about you?
Yes, it actually happened twice when I started. Let's say most probably in the first three to 6 months. The first one, I was at a workshop, and I thought this was powerful because the people at the workshop didn't know who I was. And this one, a younger guy was at the workshop, and he said to me, he's just amazed. He said, "You're like an energizer bunny. You're just like so active, so alive." And I just thought that was fantastic because he did not know that I was on the stem cell patch or anything. And I said, "Oh, it could be this." And I showed him that. But my students, so they were 19, 20, and they kind of run after me along, like, "Miss Knight, please slow down. You're going too fast for us, So I love that. And I said, "I'm not slowing down for anyone." And they also said, "You like the Energizer bunnies." So yes, definitely. Look, I'm quite an active person and full of energy generally, but I really, really am energetic and clarity of mind. But and the sleeping, Caroline, it's really amazing. Like I just feel different. Your skin feels different, your eyes feel awake. It's a wonderful feeling to have because lack of sleep. We sleep, but I don't think I was sleeping properly. It's quite debilitating, actually. Yeah,
Awesome.
Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Merle, can I give it over to you to please tell your story and then just tell me when you're ready and I'll do it. Or do you want to do the screen sharing?
I actually can screen share again once I've told my story. So thanks, Amanda. Okay. I think I've got it right. So I was introduced to LifeWave in December 2022, and I didn't see a presentation like this because it was so new in South Africa. So all I saw was David Schmidt talking to healthcare professionals. And we're going to tell you exactly, well, I'm going to tell you exactly where you can find that, an abbreviated version of that presentation. And I'm in. And I was actually talking to Alex today about it and saying, well, some people just jump in, others take longer. Alex took longer. But I just went, all right, I'm going to patch, but I'm never going to tell anybody about it. But I had a result with my shoulder in a week. Now, it took a lot longer for my shoulder to heal. So we could have said I was a one-patch wonder. And that's why I told my friend about the patches, because she had a shoulder issue that same December. And she phoned me, not because she knew I was patching, but because she was complaining about the fact that she hadn't been able to play tennis for 3 months, that her shoulder was still sore, and that she'd been to the physio for the 3rd time that week. And she was a one-patch wonder. So 23 minutes after putting a patch on, she lifted her arm above her head. And that was my first sign-up. And I wasn't going to tell anybody. And then in January, one of my Life Alignment students, so I have practiced and taught a modality called Life Alignment for 30 years. And one of my students saw me and said, "You're looking good, what are you doing?" And she told her friend, Karen. And Karen's life changed completely when she started patching, because she had been almost bedridden for years. She hadn't driven a car in 12 years. She'd had an accident when she was a student, which was 34 years before, and it had changed her life completely. When I saw her spinal cord regenerating, I started patching. I could tell you stories forever, like my husband's pyorrhea is gone, that took 2 years. Alex and I were talking today, and I was saying from June last year, when I went on my first LifeWave incentive trip to Prague, I've had really painful feet, under my feet. And I never told anybody because I'm patching. How can I tell people I got pain under my feet? And I ended up in October, November in the States. I bought Hockers because My Skechers, which are really comfortable, were still sore. My feet were still sore. And I battled wearing sandals. I battled with all kinds of things. And all of a sudden, in the last 2 weeks, my feet are absolutely fine. So it was something that was working its way through my body. But I didn't know that I had a foot issue because I've never had a foot issue. And we only today, because Alex was talking about a pain that she'd had that's gone, that she also didn't tell people about, over and above her polymyalgia, for those who've heard her story, our body prioritizes what it needs to first. So my thyroid blood tests improved in the first 4 months. My shoulder improved. By December last year, it was the best that it's been since I entered in 2012. But I had an immediate result, then I had some sort of setbacks. So just to let everybody know that everybody's bodies heal in the right time. And sometimes when a pain comes on, it's not because the patches have given you the pain. Your stem cells definitely don't do that. It's because there was some underlying issue and the body is now working on that issue. And that's where the pain often comes from. And to persevere through that. Obviously, we go to doctors, we don't stop taking medication, all of those kind of things. So sorry, I got into that as well. I'm also a nutritionist, just sort of by the way. But now I pretty much only do LifeWave because it is so transformative. So I'm going to go into the second part of the presentation. And let's go from here. Right. And are you seeing... Oh, can you switch?
Yes,
What
we
can
can
you
see.
see? Can
This
you
is
see
at
everything or just
info.com.
the right slide?
No, you must still do the show.
Sorry, I'm going to go to the slide that we need to go to. Let me just swap settings. Sorry. Let's do this and then let's go to... Okay, so this is at info.com, is a website. And it's a website where you will see the presentation that I watched in an abbreviated form, but you'll first see a little YouTube of how the patches work with light. Then you'll see David Schmidt talking to healthcare professionals, then a doctor talking. There's lots of information there. And it's an incredible site put together by Steve and Gina Merritt, who started the This Is a Team, which we are all part of. And they put so much info together for us. You'll find the patents there, you'll find the scientific studies, you'll find testimonies. And right at the end of that site, you will find a panel of doctors. Everybody from a cardiovascular surgeon to an anesthetist to chiropractors talking about why they use the product in their practices. And you'll find that really interesting. Now, when I joined LifeWave, I said I wasn't going to tell anybody about the patches. I wasn't skeptical at all, not like Amanda. I thought this product sounds amazing. It's incredible technology. It made perfect sense to me. But I was done with network marketing. And I realize now that I wasn't done with network marketing. I was done with the way that many network marketers work. LifeWave is so different. The company's ethical, it's incredible. All they want to do is support brand partners to succeed. And all David Schmidt wants to do, remember, he's the CEO and the owner. There are no shareholders. It doesn't have a board of people or shareholders that returns have to go to. It's all just David. And all he wants to do is help people. He believes that that's his calling. And that's what's so amazing about being in LifeWave. Because the company is so successful now, he doesn't want to sell it. He's got a plan that goes on for years. In fact, he's got the next 7 years of product rollouts already organized and patents for most of them. And what's coming is incredible. So the company is now 20 years old. We turned 21 at the end of the year. So very exciting. We now open in over 86 countries, not just 75. And the exciting thing about LifeWave, Amanda told you about the patented technology, is that we're not a Me Too product. There's 15 years left on the patent for X39. Nobody can copy what we have. So it's really easy because you've got something that no one else has. So if I had a supplement, you could say, well, I've got a supplement too. And then when people are short of money, they're going to go and buy a cheaper supplement in the supermarket even. And it may not be good quality, but they think they're getting the same thing. With LifeWave, you can't do that. Now, in 2021, LifeWave did a $20 million turnover for the year, and had been doing that for a while. In 2022, and this is the year that Steve and Gina Merritt joined LifeWave, and they joined in July, and they put in this very simple, duplicatable system that anybody can follow to succeed. The company did 320 million. In 2023, we did over 430 million. In 2024, we did over 600 million. And we're on track to do over $1 billion this year, which is quite phenomenal growth. And a company only grows this fast when the product works. So LifeWave is ranked the #1 momentum company in network marketing on businessforhome.org, which is the site that assesses all the different companies. So it's an incredible position to have, because joining LifeWave now, you are joining a company that is on the rise. And it's just not on the rise last year when we won the DSN 2024 Global Bravo Award for the #1 momentum company in the industry. And you can see there Meredith Burkett, who's our president, with her team on the right-hand side receiving the award. On the left, you see David Schmidt, Meredith Burkett in the striped skirt, and then Steve and Gina Merritt, who started this as a team. But in March 2025, we received the next Global Bravo Award for #1 momentum company. So we've been the #1 momentum company 2 years in a row, 2024 and 2025, which is quite something. Now, the next slide just shows the kind of team that we belong to. This is the first conference that Steve and Gina did for their team. So this is separate to company conferences. And this is where they teach us as a team how to build. And I watched this conference virtually, and it was in August 2023. And in 2024, I went to the States for the first time, but not to their conference. I went to convention in October. And then in January this year, I went to their first team conference live. I've watched all the others online, and they really make a huge difference. So their next conference is next month, and I will be there in Orlando, which is very exciting. So at this point in the presentation, we always ask, what is the most important thing in your life? Is it your family? Do you want time freedom? Do you find you're working all the time, and so there's no time to see your husband, wife, children, grandchildren, spend time with those that you love, be able to travel to see them if they're in a different country or a different province? Are you looking for security, whether it's financial security or actual physical security, the money to actually implement it? Do you want to travel more? What about better health or less debt? And when I joined LifeWave, it was all about better health because I had seen the testimonies, I'd heard David Schmidt talking, and I thought this is an incredible product. And it truly is. The longer I'm in LifeWave, as Amanda says, the more tears we shed, because every single day we wake up to the most incredible stories of healing. And when you meet somebody who's been bedridden for years, in Cape Town, we just had a conference, and there's a lady, Tanya, who'd been bedridden for 3 years with MS, and she walked up multiple flights of stairs to get to the venue with just a walking stick, which she barely needs anymore. And that's what LifeWave has done for her. You just actually want to cry, because here's somebody who had lost hope, and now they've got hope again and a life again. And that's what excites us all. So LifeWave has an incredible compensation plan, and we're going to go through it very briefly, because at the moment we have 4 ways that LifeWave pays us. But at the beginning of August, our compensation plan is being enhanced, and we are very excited about it because they are introducing another 5 ways for us to be paid. So we're going to have 9 ways to be paid. And they're not taking any money away from us. They're just changing the way that the compensation plan works. So LifeWave actually pays out 60 cents on every dollar to the brand partners, rather than paying advertising agencies and for billboards or for sportsmen to endorse the product. They don't do that. Because people who patch because they want to, including many incredible sports people. So if you don't ever want to be involved in multi-level marketing, but you want to use the product, you can sign up under the person who invited you to the call is something called a preferred customer, which means you'll get wholesale price, so the same price as the person introducing you will get, and you'll have a monthly recurring order. So it's what we call an auto ship. It's not a debit order. You can cancel it at any time you like, but it means that you will get your product at wholesale. So that's one way that the person who invited you will get rewarded. Then we love to build teams in LifeWave. So we have a left team and a right team. So if you come in and you put 2 people on your left, 2 people on your right, you become what's known as the manager, and you open up the team commissions. And team commissions are capped at $25,000 a week from the binary, because we build 2 legs, which is the binary, and they're going to continue to be capped at $25,000 a week under the enhanced compensation plan. Now, we also get what's called matching bonuses, and that means that we get rewarded for helping the people that we bring in and their teams. So if I use an example, Alex is my first line. I introduced her. So every time Alex gets a bonus on the binary, I get 25% of that, but not of Alex's money. The company rewards me. So they pay me, they give Alex her full bonus, and then they pay me as well for helping Alex. Anyone Alex introduces is my second line. I get 20% on that. And the people that they introduce on my third line, I get 20% on that. And that is unlimited. There is no cap on matching bonuses. So how do you come into LifeWave? I always say that you come in where you fit in. So when I signed up, I was never going to build a business. So I came in on Core because Core gave me 3 sleeves of X39 for $295. And it meant that I had a position on the binary, but it also meant that I could buy anytime I chose and I could get wholesale price. And I was going to patch my husband and myself, and then I would buy another packet. Well, I would upgrade to advanced when I needed product again, because LifeWave allows you to upgrade and you just pay the difference and get the difference in product. If I knew what I knew now, I would have come in on advanced, which costs you $535 for 6 sleeves of X39. So already you're getting a great discount. So instead of $600, you're paying $535 for 6 sleeves. You can replace any one sleeve with 2 of our supplementary patches. So we have 10 different patches, but the person who invited you to the call can explain all of that. So I would have come in on advanced if I knew what I knew now, and I would have started telling people much sooner, because I could have impacted many more lives than I did, because it took me about 3 months to get going. If you're a serious entrepreneur, you can come in on premium, and premium is going to cost you $1,750. And it's going to give you 20 sleeves of X39. So it's going to drop the price to $87.50 a sleeve. Again, you can replace sleeves. My local pharmacy patch in their clinic, and they have done for over 2 years now. The pharmacist was incredibly skeptical. She came in on Core, and within a week she upgraded to premium because of the results that she saw with pain management and inflammation management. So they patch in the clinic, which is quite phenomenal. So if you come in on premium, you also don't have to purchase product for 3 months. You stay active. And what do I mean by staying active? If you want to earn off the binary, staying active is important because it means you keep the volume that's being generated under you. So until you're a manager, which means you've got those 4 people, you need 1 sleeve of patches a month to stay active. That's one of these sleeves of X39. And once you're a manager, you only need 2 sleeves of patches a month to stay active. Now, David Schmidt says everybody should patch for at least 3 months to see the results, but we know that many people it takes longer. So Alex is on the call, and it took her 10 months to be pain-free from her polymyalgia, although she saw other things happening in between. My husband's pyorrhea, which is a hereditary gum disease, went in 2 years. He didn't patch for the pyorrhea though. It was a surprise when he went to the dentist in January and was told, you don't have this anymore, and it's impossible. It's a hereditary gum disease. How can it go away? Well, it did because of X39, and he's not the only person whose gums have improved dramatically because of patching. So really, the longer you patch, the better the results are going to be. Now, I told you just now about this is at info.com, which is all about X39. We have a team site. So if you think about buying your package as buying it like you're buying a franchise, except you're paying for the product, you're not paying to join. So, even if you didn't do anything with it, you've only paid for your product and you've got a great price for it. Then we have a site that teaches you how to turn this into a business. And it's called thisisateam.com. And on thisisateam.com, there are videos that show you how to sign somebody up, how to change from one leg to the other on the binary, webinars that explain the compensation plan in all its details, how to build, how to speak to somebody on a call, how to invite them to presentations. It's all there for you. So everything you need to start a business is between these 2 websites. And Steve and Gina put everything together for us. So when I said it's a plug and play and easily duplicatable, that is what I'm talking about. So the time is now to make your move. Are you serious about your dream? There really is hope for your future. And it's just about getting started with X39 because it will truly change your life, your health, and if you want to, your wealth. And of course, we're an amazing community, so you get a community as a bonus. So thank you, everybody, for being on the call this evening. And thank you, Amanda, for presenting and pulling everything up and dealing with my challenges of getting on and then the presentation and all of those things that happened today. And for those of you who are new, go back to the person who invited you to the call with any questions you might have, because they will be able to answer everything that we haven't answered on the call.